I bet you thought the UN had given up since we uh, didn't sign the treaty, and President Trump took us out of that for the small arms treaty. But you'd be wrong. The the energy to remove small arms and light weapons from civilians continues, but there's a different strategy. There's this program. It's called the Program of and Protocols that a lot of nations, including the U.S., have signed up to. And what that means is that they're coming up with the protocols for managing small arms. And even though we haven't signed a treaty, the United States would be affected by the agreements of the other countries. Um, Now, what makes that especially a problem is that the gender based arguments, the liberal, feminist, man hating kinds of rhetoric, is finding its way into those protocols. Well, what would that mean? One of them, one of them is a protocol that says they want to address gender-based violence or violence against women. Nobody wants to have violence against women, but the way it's phrased is uh, men have toxic masculinity. So being masculine, by definition, means you're susceptible to violence, and therefore um, they need to be thoughtful about men having access to weapons, and that's a reason to remove firearms and light weapons from civilians. Well, let me decode that for you. The way the way to reduce violence against women is to remove all firearms from men. If you disarm men, you protect women. That's the notion of the protocol that they're uh, trying to put into into that program. So when you start hearing this gender-based toxic masculinity and, you know, let boys be feminine and not let boys be boys and not let men be men, uh, it argues against the whole notion that men have the capacity to be violent and that it is socially and culturally and species-wise necessary to have the ability to exercise violence. Now, the control on that are laws that say violence can only be used in certain circumstances, otherwise it is a crime. And that's kind of what we have today. You know, you can't go putting your hands on people because that's called battery or assault and battery or worse. But the idea says men, by their nature, are violent, which is kind of true, and you don't want to have guns in the hands of violent people. Yeah, so that's the logic. So all of you men out there, put your ears on and listen for those kind of words coming from any woman that's close to you, or any argument that has the whiff of coming from the UN. So I'll just put that out there. They're at it again. Thanks for watching. And as always, carry on.